Rent a boyfriend. Ellie stared at her computer screen. A big, colorful title appeared. Rent a boyfriend, more reliable than a real one. She held a cup of cold coffee and felt nervous. 1 hour ago, Ellie was happy. She was eating pizza and watching funny cat videos. Then, her phone rang. A loud voice came from the phone. Ellie! Don't tell me you forgot! It was Sophie, her best friend from college. Ellie was still chewing pizza. What did I forget? She asked. Sophie gasped. My engagement party! This Saturday! Ellie almost choked on her pizza. She had forgotten about the party, and she really didn't want to go. She quickly said, Yes! Of course, I remember. I'm so excited. Sophie sounded happy. Great! Bring your boyfriend. Everyone wants to meet him. Ellie froze. She didn't have a boyfriend. The only thing she had held recently was a shopping bag at the supermarket. Sophie laughed. Ellie, you're not single, right? Be serious. Everyone is bringing a partner. Even Kevin is bringing his yoga teacher. Don't embarrass me. Ellie rolled her eyes. Kevin was her ex-boyfriend from college. He loved to show off. She forced a laugh. No problem. I'll bring a wonderful boyfriend. After the call, Ellie lay on her sofa. Her cat, Fatty, jumped on her lap and stared at her like, "Per you." Ellie sighed. What should I do? Maybe I should bring you, Fatty. You're better than some men. She scratched the cat's ears. Love doesn't last, right? Look at my parents. They were happy before. Now they don't even talk. Fatty blinked at her, as if agreeing. Ellie chuckled and looked back at her screen. An ad popped up. Perfect boyfriends for rent. The ad promised that he would say nice things about her smile, stop her from drinking too much, and even pretend to love her cat. Ellie laughed. This sounds better than my ex. She clicked through the options. The basic package offered a simple date for family meals or small parties. The gold package promised someone funny, handsome, and good at giving romantic looks. The platinum package described a man like a movie star. He spoke many languages. He could even play the piano. Ellie chose the gold package. The platinum one sounded too perfect. People might get suspicious. She clicked confirm. It felt just like online shopping. A message popped up on the screen. Your boyfriend is in the cart. Delivery in progress, please wait. Ellie giggled. I hope they don't send him in a big box. On the day of Sophie's engagement party, Ellie arrived early at a fancy restaurant. She felt nervous. She held a glass of champagne and looked at the door. What if my fake boyfriend doesn't come? She worried. She tried to look calm, but her heart was beating fast. Just as she was about to give up, a tall man walked in with a big smile. He wore a gray suit and had perfect hair, like a movie star. "Ellie?" His voice was deep and smooth. Ellie nodded. "Yes, that's me." The man smiled. "I'm Jack, your date for today. Nice to meet you." He picked up a glass of champagne and moved gracefully. Ellie was surprised. Maybe this company is very professional. She felt hopeful until 5 minutes later. The party began. Ellie quickly realized Jack had a problem. He was bad at conversations and kept forgetting people's names. Sophie's fiancé was named Ethan, but Jack called him Eason, then Jason, and finally just "Dude." Jack also pretended he knew about wine. He took a sip and said, "This tastes like watered-down cola." Everyone stared at him. Then someone asked how Sophie and Ethan met. Jack joked, "I thought people got engaged for health insurance." Ellie wanted to disappear. It got worse. Sophie asked how Ellie and Jack met. Jack made up a crazy story. "We met in a yoga class. Ellie was doing a headstand. She almost kicked my head. That's when I knew she was the one." Ellie felt so embarrassed. She wanted to hide under a yoga mat. Just when Ellie thought things couldn't get worse, her ex-boyfriend Kevin walked in, wearing a fancy suit and bringing a tall, silent woman. He looked confident. Kevin smirked when he saw Ellie and Jack. "Ellie, long time no see," he said. "Is this your friend?" Jack heard Kevin's rude voice and smiled. "Friend? No way. Ellie is my fiancée. We plan to marry in Paris next year. Right, dear?" Ellie almost coughed up her drink. Jack gently took her hand, and Ellie felt calmer. She coughed and said, "Yes, that's right. Jack loves fashion, so we're still looking for wedding clothes." Kevin looked surprised, then sneered. "Interesting. Good luck." He walked away with his date. Ellie whispered, "Thank you." Jack shrugged. "It's my job. Your ex looks like a crocodile with a fake smile." Ellie laughed. She was surprised. Jack was actually funny. The party ended, and Ellie and Jack walked outside into the cold night. Ellie's mind felt clearer now. Jack made mistakes, but he helped her at the right time. "I didn't expect you to be so helpful," Ellie said. Jack grinned. "Of course I'm helpful. I'm not perfect all the time. You were lucky today." Ellie teased him. "Lucky? You called my friend Sophie soda 3 times. Was that perfect?" Jack shrugged. "I'm an actor, not a memory champion." They exchanged phone numbers. This time, it was not about a rental agreement. Before he left, Jack joked, "If you need a hero again, call me." Ellie watched him walk away. She smiled. She never thought a fake boyfriend could bring real happiness. She shook her head with a laugh. The next morning, Ellie woke up feeling better. She picked up her phone and saw a message from Sophie. Ellie, I really like Jack. He seems too perfect. Where does he work? Ellie's heart skipped a beat. She quickly typed, Jack is private. He doesn't talk about work much. A few seconds later, Sophie replied, okay. But I want to know him better. Let's have a small party at my house. Bring Jack. We all want to hear your love story. Ellie dropped her phone. A party? Sophie was testing Jack. She grabbed her phone and called Jack immediately. Jack! We have a problem. Sophie is getting suspicious. She wants to throw a party just to ask questions. Jack sounded relaxed. That sounds fun, like a detective movie. Ellie almost screamed. This is crazy. We need a real love story, with details. Jack chuckled. Don't worry. I won an acting prize in college. We'll be fine. Ellie groaned but felt a small bit of hope. That evening, Jack arrived at Ellie's apartment with a notebook and a big bag of snacks. Let's make our love story, he said with a grin. He flipped open the notebook. Where did we first meet? He asked. Ellie thought for a moment. A bookstore, right? Jack nodded. Yes, but we need details. Did we eat dinner after? What did we talk about? People love details. Ellie sighed. Okay. We went to an Italian restaurant. We ate pizza and talked about books. Jack wrote everything down, then smiled. Let's add a small problem. Maybe at first you thought I didn't like cats. But later you found out I do. Ellie nodded. That sounds real. Then she asked, What if Sophie asks how you proposed? Jack grinned. I'll say I proposed at your favorite cat cafe. I used a special cat paw ring box. Very romantic. Ellie laughed. A cat paw ring box? Really? Jack smiled. Yes. You love cats. Sophie will believe it. Ellie shook her head but agreed. On the day of Sophie's small party, Ellie and Jack arrived together. Sophie smiled but looked curious. Jack, as usual, seemed confident. He handed Sophie a bottle of wine. Thank you for inviting us, he said smoothly. Ellie always talks about your friendship. Sophie studied him closely. Yes, I want to hear your love story. Jack didn't hesitate. He told the story smoothly, how they met at a bookstore, their pizza date, and the cat cafe proposal. He spoke so naturally that even Ellie almost believed it herself. But Sophie wasn't done. Jack, what do you two do for fun? She asked. Jack smiled. We have a cat at home. Her name is Orange. Ellie nearly choked on her drink. A cat? She had a cat, but that wasn't its name. Sophie smiled at Jack. You did well. Ellie found a good partner. Ellie and Jack finally relaxed. But just as they thought the test was over, Sophie leaned in and whispered, Next time, I'll want to hear about your wedding plans. Ellie and Jack exchanged nervous glances. This was not over yet. Outside Sophie's house, Ellie took off her high heels and sighed. She wants to know about our wedding next. She's too serious. Jack shrugged. At least she believes us. Ellie frowned. She's not just believing. She wants to be involved. She might even want to pick my wedding dress. Jack chuckled. Yes, probably. Suddenly, Ellie's phone rang. It was Sophie. Ellie hesitated, then answered. Ellie, I have an idea. Let's go to a bridal shop tomorrow. You can try on dresses. I know the perfect place. Ellie's mouth fell open. She had no excuse. Sophie hung up before Ellie could say no. Ellie turned to Jack. She wants us to go to a bridal shop. This is insane. Jack smiled. One more show for us. The next day, Ellie and Jack met Sophie at a fancy bridal shop. The store was filled with white dresses hanging on the walls. Sophie was excited and practically pushed Ellie into a dressing room. Ellie whispered to herself, I rented a boyfriend. Now I'm renting a wedding? This is too much. She put on the lace dress and stepped out. Jack, who had been talking to Sophie, suddenly stopped. Ellie saw his eyes widen. She felt a little nervous. Why is he looking at me like that? How do I look? She asked. Jack's voice was quieter than usual. You look beautiful. Ellie's heart jumped for a second. She shook her head fast. No. This is just acting. Jack is just doing his job. But Jack still looked at her, his eyes warm and kind. Ellie looked away. She had to focus on the dress, not on Jack. Sophie clapped her hands. Yes! This dress is perfect for you. Before Ellie could stop her, Sophie took out her phone. Let me take some pictures. This is a special moment. Ellie felt panic inside her. She wasn't supposed to enjoy this. It was fake, right? But then, Jack stepped closer for the photo. As they stood side by side, Ellie felt something strange. Just for a second, she forgot everything. The rental, the lies, the plan, it all faded away in that one moment. She looked at Jack and smiled, though she wasn't sure why. Maybe this wasn't real. But maybe it didn't feel so fake anymore. Suddenly, she heard a camera click. Ellie turned. Sophie was already taking pictures, smiling. She still had to upload them to social media. Ellie's eyes widened. Sophie, wait, she said, reaching for the phone. But Sophie didn't listen. She posted them with the caption, "Look how beautiful Ellie is! So happy for her!" Ellie stared at the screen, her heart racing. Oh no! This is going to be a problem. The next day, Ellie's phone exploded with messages. Old friends asked about her wedding date. People congratulated her. She felt dizzy. Then Jack's phone rang. It was his mother, Karen. Her voice was excited. "Jack! You're engaged? Why do I see wedding photos online but hear nothing from you?" Jack hesitated. Karen was serious. She wanted to meet Ellie this weekend. Jack hung up and turned to Ellie. "My mom wants us at a family dinner. She saw the wedding photos." Ellie was horrified. "We don't even have a fake wedding planned, and now I have to meet your parents?" Jack gave a small, nervous laugh. "Yes, it's a bigger challenge." That weekend, Ellie and Jack drove to the countryside to meet Jack's parents. Ellie felt nervous. What if your mom asks too many questions? What if she finds out the truth? Jack smiled. "Relax. My mom likes friendly people." They arrived at a cozy house with a big garden full of flowers. Jack's mother, Karen, opened the door with a warm smile. "Jack! And this must be Ellie. Welcome!" Karen pulled Ellie into a hug. "I'm so happy to meet you. Jack told us all about you. You look lovely." Ellie smiled nervously. Karen seemed kind, but Ellie felt guilty for lying. During dinner, Jack's parents asked Ellie questions about her life. "Where did you grow up? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies?" Ellie answered carefully. Jack helped fill in the details. After dinner, Ellie helped Karen wash the dishes in the kitchen. Karen sang a little song while washing the plates. Jack's father walked past, smiling, and touched her nose. "You have soap here," he said. "Oh, stop that!" Karen laughed. She looked a little angry, but her eyes were full of love. Ellie had never seen love like this before. Her parents always argued, then broke up. To Ellie, love did not last long. But when she looked at Jack's parents, she wondered, does love really disappear, or do people make it stronger, step by step? Karen turned and smiled at Ellie. "Love is not perfect, dear," she said. It felt like she could read Ellie's mind. "But real love stays." Ellie opened her mouth but said nothing. Her heart felt strange, like a small door was opening. Everything seemed fine, until Karen turned to Jack. "Jack, when did you propose? Tell us the story." Ellie's heart jumped. Jack stayed calm and smiled. He told the story exactly as they had planned: the cat cafe, the special cat paw ring box, the romantic moment. Karen listened, her eyes full of emotion. "That is so sweet," she said. You two are a perfect match. Ellie forced a smile, but inside she felt uneasy. This fake story was getting too big. On the drive home, Ellie stared at Jack. Your mom believes we are really getting married? Jack nodded. Yes. She is very excited. Ellie groaned. This is out of control. We must end this soon. The next morning, Ellie's phone buzzed with a new message from Karen. Ellie, dear, I want you to meet more of our family. We are having a big dinner next weekend. Please come with Jack. Everyone is excited. Ellie nearly dropped her phone. She quickly sent a screenshot to Jack. Is your mom planning a real wedding for us? Jack's reply was simple. Calm down. Ellie groaned. This was getting worse. That evening, Ellie and Jack met at a coffee shop. Ellie looked serious. Jack, we need to tell your mom the truth. Jack shook his head. She is too excited now. She will feel betrayed. Ellie groaned. So we just keep lying? What if she actually starts planning a wedding? Jack thought for a moment. We can wait. We'll tell her we need more time. Then we can slowly stop the fake wedding idea. Ellie frowned. She didn't like lying to Karen, but she had no better idea. For now, they agreed to continue pretending. A week later, Ellie and Jack arrived at another family dinner. Karen welcomed them with hugs and big smiles. More relatives were there this time. They asked about wedding details, who would design the dress, where the honeymoon would be, what kind of cake they wanted. Ellie felt trapped. After the meal, Karen took Ellie to a quiet corner. She smiled kindly. Ellie, you look nervous. Is everything okay? Ellie's heart beat fast. She tried to smile. Yes, just wedding stress. Karen studied her carefully. I think you and Jack are hiding something, she said softly. Ellie froze. Did Karen know the truth? Karen gently held Ellie's hand. I was a bride before. I know real love makes people happy. But you and Jack look worried. Ellie felt a lump in her throat. Karen continued, Jack is too perfect, and you look stressed. Are you nervous about the wedding, or is something not real? Ellie felt dizzy. She didn't answer. Karen squeezed Ellie's hand. Ellie, I don't want to make you uncomfortable. But if something is wrong, you can tell me. I just want you and Jack to be happy. Ellie's heart pounded. She knew she couldn't keep lying. Later, Karen showed Ellie some photos from the bridal shop. My friend is a photographer, she said. He saw these pictures and said you and Jack look stiff. Karen looked at Ellie. Real couples act natural, she added. What do you think? Ellie finally took a deep breath. Karen, I'm sorry. This is all fake. Karen nodded slowly. I know, she said. Ellie's eyes grew wide. You knew? Karen smiled. Yes. Jack is my son. I know when he's acting. And you look too nervous. But I didn't say anything because I wanted to see if something real might happen between you two. Ellie was speechless. That night, Ellie told Jack everything. Jack, your mom knows. She can feel something is wrong. Jack listened calmly. So my mom knew we were pretending, but she didn't say anything? Ellie nodded. Yes. She even encouraged us. She hoped we would become a real couple. Jack laughed softly. My mom is smart. She always has a plan. Ellie threw up her hands. This is crazy. Jack shrugged. Maybe we should stop pretending and try real dating. Ellie raised an eyebrow. We started as a lie. How can that turn into something real? Jack smiled gently. Sometimes real feelings grow from unexpected places. Ellie sighed. Okay. Friends first. No more fake stories. Jack grinned. Friends is a good start. A few days later, Karen sent Ellie a photo of a wedding cake. She texted, Ellie, I'm happy you and Jack are trying something real. I have a wedding cake on hold, just in case. Be happy! Ellie laughed. Karen was really one of a kind. A few weeks later, Ellie and Jack met at a coffee shop. Jack smiled and gave Ellie a cup of coffee. Then he took out 2 theater tickets. Look, Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, he said. It sounds like our story, right? Ellie laughed. You mean our life is like a funny play? Jack touched his coffee cup to hers. Maybe. But the best plays have a happy ending. Should we make our own? Ellie looked at him for a moment. Before, she thought love wasn't real. She thought it wouldn't last. But now, when she looked at Jack, she felt something different. This time, she was not acting. She was not pretending. She wanted to try. Ellie smiled softly. Jack, she said, maybe we don't need a story anymore. Jack blinked, then smiled. No more pretending? Ellie shook her head. No more pretending. She took a sip of coffee. Her heart felt warm. Maybe this was real.